So once again, I repeat that CMOS dynamic electrical behavior. With the help of CMOS dynamic electrical behavior, we study the speed and power consumption of a CMOS device. Speed and power consumption of a CMOS device. So the speed is mainly depends upon two characteristics, which is the first one is transition time and second one is propagation delay time. Already in previous class we discussed about transition time. So what is the transition time? The amount of time that the output of a logic circuit takes to change from one state to another state. The amount of time which is required to change from one state to another state is considered as transition time. So in CMOS dynamic electrical behavior, we mainly study about the first one is the speed of that circuit and second one is power consumption of that circuit. To know the speed of the circuit, we must know about two characteristics. Already know operating speed. Operating speed. In characteristics, already I told you the definition, all the definitions for operating speed, power consumption, all those characteristics I already explained. So to know the speed of the circuit operation, we must know the two parameters. One is transition time and second one is propagation delay time. If we know these two parameters, then we automatically calculate the speed of that circuit. So what is transition time? Transition time is amount of time required to change from one state to another state is called transition time. So the transition time is mainly depends upon rise time and fall time. Rise time and fall time. Already I told the definitions of rise time and fall time. What is rise time? The time required to change from low state to high state is called rise time, which is represented with TR. So the time required to change from low state to high state is considered as rise time, which is represented with TR. So another time is fall time. The time required to change from high state to low state is considered as fall time, which is represented by TF. So to know the transition time, first of all we calculate rise time and fall time. Mainly the transition time is depends upon two parameters again. The transition time of circuit mainly depends upon two parameters. The first one is on-transistor resistance. And second one is load capacitance. So why we consider on-transistor resistance? Here, why we consider on-transistor resistance? And physically, suppose if we take a CMOS inverter circuit, physically there is no capacitance. Physically, we does not connect any capacitance in that circuit. You already know inverter circuit is formed with PMOS and NMOS. We consider only those two devices. There is no capacitor physically. But here we have some capacitance which is due to stray capacitance. I already explained the stray capacitance, how it is formed. So stray capacitance is formed in three ways. The first way is the input circuits which are connected to our circuit. Suppose if I consider CMOS inverter circuit, at the input side we connect another TTL circuit. In that TTL circuit, again we have some internal wiring and some packaging connections like that. So due to input circuits, we face some stray capacitance. Already I told you what is stray capacitance and how it is formed. Between, for example, if I consider PCB, so PCB have some tracks, some conduction tracks to flow the current. So side by side track acts as two plates and the field formed between those two tracks considered as dielectric medium. So totally one capacitance is considered between those two tracks. So that type of capacitance is called as a stray capacitance. That is one example. to form a stray capacitance. So totally, to form the stray capacitance is formed in three ways. The first way is input circuits which are connected to our circuits. So in input circuits, again, there is internal wiring and packaging connections like that. So due to that internal wiring, some stray capacitance is available, which is in the order of 2 to 10 picofarads range, which is in the order of 2 to 10 picofarads range. Next, second reason is how the stray capacitance is formed. The wiring and connections. So that is, if we connect another circuits at the output side, if we connect another circuits at the output side, that circuits are considered as output circuits. Again, in that output circuits, there is internal some wiring, there is some internal wiring and packaging connections. So due to output circuits, again, we have some stray capacitance. That is second type. Third type is the wiring between our circuit, that is our middle circuit, and output circuits, input circuits. అంటే టోటల్గా కనెక్షన్స్ మనం ఏమైతే కనెక్ట్ చేస్తున్నామో మన సర్క్యూట్ నుంచి సపోజ్ మన అవుట్పుట్ తీసుకెళ్ళి అనదర్ సర్క్యూట్ ఇన్పుట్కి ఇస్తున్నాము. దేంతో ఇస్తామమ్మా జనరల్గా మనము త్రూ వైర్స్ తోటే ఇస్తాము. సో అగైన్ వీ ఫేస్ సమ్ స్ట్రే కెపాసిటెన్స్ at that wiring. For each inch we consider some 1 picofarad stray capacitance. Generally, approximately for each inch of wiring, we face some 1 picofarad stray capacitance. So totally, the transition time, that is rise time and fall time, mainly depends upon two factors. One is on resistance of transistor, and second one is stray capacitance available in the circuit. For example, if we consider inverter circuit, there is no physical component of capacitance, but due to internal wiring and packaging connections, we face some stray capacitance. The stray capacitance is appeared in three ways. The first way is input circuits which are connected to our circuits. So second way is output circuits which are connected to our circuits. Third way is the wiring between those circuits. Due to wiring, we face some 1 picofarad per inch. We face some stray capacitance. So totally, these three regions are caused to form stray capacitance. So that stray capacitance is considered as here load capacitance, which is represented with CL. So these CL is considered at higher frequencies. Already you know, at lower frequencies, that is for studying of static state behavior, we does not consider any capacitance effect. Already you know, we consider the capacitance effect at high frequencies. That's why AC frequencies. So that's why here we consider the load capacitance. Since here we study the dynamic electrical behavior, so that is AC behavior, we study the AC behavior. So in this case, we consider CL. In previous static state behavior, we does not consider any capacitance effect. Already in, you know, in transistor hybrid parameter model also, at high frequencies only you consider capacitor effect. But low frequencies, it does not consider any capacitance effect. We always take a capacitance effect into the circuit at high frequencies only. We does not consider capacitance effect at low frequencies. You remember this point. So therefore, here first we calculate rise time and fall time by considering load capacitance. Why here we consider the on transistor resistance? Suppose whenever we consider some load capacitance, that load capacitance must takes charging and discharging. To discharge that capacitance, automatically the discharging path must be formed with on resistance of the circuit. ఒక కెపాసిటర్ డిశ్చార్జ్ అవ్వాలంటే మస్ట్గా మనకి వేరే పాత్ ఫామ్ అవ్వాలి. అది ఎప్పుడు ఎలా ఫామ్ అవుతుంది? సర్క్యూట్లో ఏదైతే ఆన్ రెసిస్టెన్స్ ఆఫ్ ద ట్రాన్సిస్టర్ ఉంటుందో దానిలో నుంచి డిశ్చార్జ్ అవుతుంది. సో దట్స్ వై వీ కన్సిడర్ దట్ టర్మ్ యాజ్ అనదర్ రీజన్. సో ద ఫస్ట్ రీజన్ ఈజ్ ఆన్ రెసిస్టెన్స్ ఆఫ్ ద ట్రాన్సిస్టర్, అండ్ second reason is లోడ్ కెపాసిటెన్స్ విచ్ ఈస్ ఫార్మ్డ్ విత్ స్ట్రే కెపాసిటెన్స్. ఆ స్ట్రే కెపాసిటెన్స్ ఎలా ఫామ్ అవుతుంది అనేది 3 వేస్లో మనం చెప్పుకున్నాము. వాట్ ఈస్ అవర్ ఫస్ట్ రీజన్? ఇన్పుట్ సర్క్యూట్స్. మనం ఏమైతే కనెక్ట్ చేస్తున్నామో ఆ ఇన్పుట్ సర్క్యూట్స్లో ఉన్న ఇంటర్నల్ వైరింగ్ వలన, ప్యాకేజింగ్ వలన వీ ఫేస్ సమ్ స్ట్రే కెపాసిటెన్స్. అది వచ్చేసి ఎలా ఫామ్ అవుతుంది, ఎంత ఆర్డర్లో ఫామ్ అవుతుంది అంటే 2 to 10 పీకో ఫ్యారడ్స్ రేంజ్లో అప్రాక్సిమేట్గా ఫామ్ అవుతుంది. అలానే అవుట్పుట్ సర్క్యూట్స్, మనం ఏదైతే అవుట్పుట్లో కనెక్ట్ చేస్తున్నామో ఆ సర్క్యూట్స్లో ఉన్న ఇంటర్నల్ వైరింగ్, ప్యాకేజింగ్ వలన అగైన్ వీ ఫేస్ సమ్ స్ట్రే కెపాసిటెన్స్. దట్ ఈస్ ఆల్సో ఇన్ ద ఆర్డర్ ఆఫ్ 2 to 10 పీకో ఫ్యారడ్స్. నెక్స్ట్ థర్డ్ రీజన్ వచ్చేసి మనకేంటి, మనకి కనెక్షన్స్, మన సర్క్యూట్ నుంచి అవుట్పుట్ సర్క్యూట్స్కి వైరింగ్తోనే మనం కనెక్ట్ చేస్తాం. సో డ్యూ టు దట్ వైరింగ్ వీ ఫేస్ సమ్ స్ట్రే కెపాసిటెన్స్. So totally this stray capacitance is considered as CL here. Take a notebook and pen. Here our aim is calculation of transition time. So to calculate transition time, we must calculate rise time and fall time. Take notebook and pen. Draw the equivalent circuit. Draw the equivalent circuit. Already you know up to this we have inverter circuit, CMOS inverter circuit. CMOS inverter circuit which is formed with the equivalent resistance of P channel which is RP and equivalent resistance of N channel which is represented with RN. Here we apply input Vin. At this we collect the output which is Vout. So up to this first blue mark we consider this as a CMOS inverter. CMOS inverter. So in previous circuit we already studied the load circuit which is considered with only one V Thevenins and R Thevenins. Up to this Thevenins equivalent you know. But here we consider the load capacitance to calculate a transition time. So that is here we study about AC analysis. So that's why here we consider the capacitance effect, stray capacitance effect, which is represented with the CL. So totally RL, CL and VL is considered as load. RL, CL and VL considered as load. Draw this circuit which is mentioned as equivalent circuit for analyzing transition times. Equivalent circuit for analyzing transition times. Below the equivalent circuit, you must represent all parameters. Take RP. RP is a P channel equivalent resistance. RP is a P channel equivalent resistance. And RN. RN is a N channel equivalent resistance. The output load forms with 3 components. The output load forms with 3 components: RL, VL and CL. RL, VL and CL. Already I told you RL and VL is represented as DC load. RL and VL is represented as DC load. This DC load is considered if we calculate steady state behavior. If we calculate steady state behavior, we consider this DC load. But Here we study the dynamic electrical behavior. So that's why we consider CL also. That's why we consider CL also. Now put aside heading. Calculation of fall time. Calculation of fall time. Where we calculate fall time, already you know the definition of fall time. The time taken to change from high state to low state. To change from high state to low state is called fall time. Is considered as fall time. For this, first of all, we assume our circuit CMOS inverter output is at high state. So note down that point. To calculate fall time, our CMOS circuit, our CMOS inverter circuit output is at high state. Output is at a high state. To got high output, what is the input for inverter? Low input. Now draw the equivalent circuit for that case. Now draw the equivalent circuit for that case. ఫాల్ టైం క్యాలిక్యులేట్ చేయాలంటే మన ఇన్వర్టర్ అవుట్పుట్ ఫస్ట్ వచ్చేసి హై స్టేట్లో ఉందని మనం ఎజ్యూమ్ చేసుకుంటున్నాము. హై స్టేట్లో మన అవుట్పుట్ హై స్టేట్లో ప్రజెంట్ అయిందంటే ఆటోమేటిక్గా ఇన్పుట్ ఏ వోల్టేజ్ ఉన్నట్టు మనకి లో వోల్టేజ్ ఉన్నట్టు. హియర్ వీ హ్యావ్ ఇన్పుట్ వోల్టేజ్ యాజ్ లో. ఫర్ అప్లయింగ్ లో వోల్టేజెస్, హౌ ద PMOS inverter acts as, PMOS device acts as on transistor or off transistor? On transistor. So therefore the resistance of that device is very less, which is in the order of 200 ohms. So the first mention this figure as A. So that is in the high state. The output is in the high state. So that's why for P channel we consider 200 ohms. And N channel is in off state, therefore we consider greater than 1 mega ohm. Greater than 1 mega ohm. Here we neglect RL and VL, since both those are DC components, DC load. So therefore here, but our aim is here to study the AC analyzation. That's why we neglect those two parameters. Just you consider capacitance. Just you can consider capacitance. Which have the value of 100 picofarads. Which have the value of 100 picofarads. What is this circuit? CMOS inverter which have the high state at the output. So that's it, this one in the high state. After that is draw second circuit. That is our output is at low state. Our output is at low state. Automatically our output is low state. We have a high input here. Whenever we apply a high input, the P channel goes to off and N channel goes to on. So therefore P channel is represented with a high resistance and N channel is represented with low resistance, which is in the order of P channel is in the order of greater than 1 mega ohm and N channel is in the order of 100 ohms. N channel is in the order of 100 ohms. You must represent this current. You must represent this current also. In this situation, the P channel acts as a off transistor. So therefore, here we have a open path. So therefore, the current flows from this terminal to into the output terminal and reach to ground. What is this current? Already I told two currents. In previous classes, already I told about two currents. Source current and sink current. What is this current? It is a sink current or source current. If the current is entering into the output terminal, then that current is considered as sink current. If the current is flows from this terminal to out of the output terminal, then that current is considered as source current. Here we have a sink current. So that is it flows into the output terminal and through N channel device and reaches to ground. Represent current direction also. Represent current direction also. Represent figure A and figure B. Figure A is output is at high state and figure B is output at low state. Already you know fall time. To calculate fall time, first of all we assume that our circuit is at high state. First of all you assume that our circuit is at high state. So this is first you draw this figure, then automatically you got that point. First high state. At high state you must represent RP and RN. What is the RP value? 200 ohms and RN is greater than 1 mega ohm. At the high state, first that is for figure A. For figure A, this is the representation, high state. After that, for second figure, this is low state. At that low state, we have RP as greater than 1 mega ohm and RN as 100 ohms. So you represent these values at a high state and low state. The fall time is time required to change from high state to low state. So this is fall time. This is fall time. So at t equal to 0, consider this period as t equal to 0. At a t equal to 0, the circuit changes from high state to low state. So where we calculate TF, we consider 3.5 volts and 1.5 volts, between 3.5 and 1.5. Why we consider these 2 points? Already you know fall time is between the time between 70% of VCC to 30% of VCC. 70% of VCC to 30% of VCC. Our VCC is 5 volts, 70% is 3.5 volts, 30% is 1.5 volts. So therefore we consider between these two periods, we calculate, then we got fall time. Then we got fall time. So represent these levels also 3.5 and 1.5. This figure is 1.5. So mention this between these two periods, TF. TF. This is the exponential. This exponential is a rising exponential or falling exponential? This exponential is a rising exponential or falling exponential? It is a falling exponential. It is a falling exponential. Therefore, we take the expression as V out equal to, note down that expression, V out equal to, what is the expression for falling exponential? V into e power minus t by tau. V into V out equal to V into e power minus t by tau. V into e power minus t by tau. What is tau here? Note down, tau equal to, what is tau? Tau is a time constant which is always considered as resistance and capacitance. What is our capacitance here? CL. Take the resistance as RL. RL or RN ఏదైనా represent చేసుకోవచ్చు. So therefore our equation becomes V out equal to, what is V? What is the maximum voltage here? What is the maximum voltage here? VCC. V is nothing but VCC. Therefore V out equal to VCC into e power minus t by Rn CL. That is tau Rn CL. Once again you observe, since it is a decaying exponential is always mentioned as, you know, already in PDC, decaying exponential is mentioned as V out equal to VCC into, that is maximum voltage. VCC is nothing but maximum voltage. Our actual expression is V out equal to V into e power minus t by tau, where small t is a time period, tau is a time constant. So time constant tau is always considered as resistance and capacitance, that is R and C. R into C is considered as time constant tau. But here in our circuit, what is V? V is a maximum voltage which is 5 volts. That is we represented as VCC or VDD. Since it is a FET component, that's why we considered it as VDD. VDD. So therefore, now our expression forms as V out equal to VDD into e power minus t by Rn into CL. Rn into CL. From that expression, you bring the time period small t. You bring the time period small t. Take the e term as this side. Then it automatically formed as a log, natural log. Take the exponential term left side. That exponential term, whenever the exponential term comes to this side, automatically it is considered as a natural log. Automatically it is considered as natural log. So from the above expression, you just take the time period small t. Time period small t. Now what is small t? Small t equal to minus Rn CL natural log V out by VDD. I think you got this expression. It is very simple. Bring the exponential term e into 2 left side. Automatically it becomes a natural log. But at this side already we have a V out parameter. So therefore V out by VDD, which is natural log. So we got a T as minus Rn CL natural log V out by VDD. Substitute Rn and CL value. Substitute Rn and CL value. Rn is nothing but observe the previous circuit. Rn is nothing but this one. Our current flows from, since here it acts as an open circuit. So therefore we does not consider this resistance. So Rn is nothing but n channel resistance. So take Rn as 100 ohms and Cl as 100 picofarads. Cl as 100 picofarads. So substitute Rn and Cl. Rn, Cl, already VDD already know 5 volts. VDD is nothing but VCC. Here it is a MOSFET device, therefore we consider as VDD. If we take a transistor, then we consider VCC. So therefore VDD is a 5 volts, Rn is 100 ohms and Cl is 100 picofarads. So substitute and simplifying, we got one expression. T equal to, what is that expression? Minus 10 into 10 power minus 9 natural log V out by 5. Natural log V out by 5. Now, what is our aim? See this diagram. What is our aim? Calculation of fall time. Fall time is always considered between 3.5 volts to 1.5 volt. 3.5 is a 70% VCC, 1.5 is a 30% VCC. So our aim is at 3.5 volts. At 3.5 volts, calculate V out. So that is calculate T at 3.5. Calculate T at 3.5. That is considering V out as 3.5. Calculate time period T. Calculate time period T. First consider V out as 3.5 V and calculate T. So therefore we mentioned it as T at 3.5. T at 3.5. Take V out as 3.5 volts. Calculate T. So therefore we represented as time period at 3.5 volts, which is equal to how much you got? 3.57 nanoseconds. 3.57 nanoseconds. Got this value or not? .57 nanoseconds. After that, take V out as 1.5. Take V out as 1.5. Again calculate T. Again calculate T. And that T is mentioned as T 1.5. T 1.5. You must do the derivation. How much you got? 12.04 nanoseconds. 12.04 nanoseconds. See this diagram? Already you know this is a TF. That is T at 1.5 minus T at 3.5. Then TF. So from this you write the expression TF equal to T 1.5 minus T 3.5, which is equal to 12.04 nanoseconds minus 3.57 nanoseconds, which is approximately equal to 8.5 nanoseconds, which is approximately equal to 8.5 nanoseconds. This is fall time, TF, mentioned in a small box. TF equal to 8.5 nanoseconds. Any doubts in this analysis? Or you got this value? Anyone respond? 8.5 nanoseconds. So this is fall time. Next put aside heading, calculation of rise time. Calculation of rise time. To calculate rise time, first we assume that our circuit is at a low state. Already you know rise time. So for rise time, see this figure. What is rise time? The time taking from low state to high state, to change from low state to high state. So therefore, first of all, we assume that our circuit is at low state. So that is output is at low state. So for that, this one. Output is at low state is nothing but input is high. Whenever input is high, P channel acts as off transistor and N channel acts as on transistor. So therefore for P channel we have greater than 1 mega ohm and N channel we consider 100 ohms. Draw the equivalent circuit. Draw the equivalent circuit. And mention this figure as A. Figure as A. The output is at low state. The output is at a low state. The output is at low state. Similarly, draw this figure. Figure B. Figure B. The output is at high state. The output is at high state. Observe here, whenever the output is high, the input is low. The input is low. Whenever we apply a low input, automatically P channel transistor goes to on. So therefore we have a less resistance here, which is 200 ohms. And N channel is off. Therefore, we consider the resistance as greater than 1 mega ohm here. Now it acts as a off device. It acts as a off device. N. N channel acts as a off device. Therefore, the current flows from supply to P channel transistor and through V out, through load and reach it to ground. Now what is this current? This current is a source current. In previous case we got a sink current. Here we got a source current. Represent the current direction also. Represent the current direction also. Now observe this figure. First our circuit is at low state. Output is at low state. So at the low state you represent the RP and RN values. RP and RN values. From low state to it changes to high state. So therefore at high state you represent again RP and RN values. RP and RN values. Draw this diagram. Draw this diagram. What is this curve? Exponentially rising curve. Exponentially rising curve. At t equal to 0, it have a 0 volts. After that, it exponentially rises and reaches to 5 volts. Reaches to 5 volts. Now, the time required to change from low state to high state is considered as rise time. So, therefore, we consider 30% of V to 70% of V. So, which is 1.5 V to 3.5 V. The time between these 2 points is considered as rise time TR. Now what is our expression? It is a exponential rising curve. So therefore our expression is V out equal to VDD into 1 minus e power minus t by tau. We already know this expression in PDC. V out equal to V into 1 minus e power minus t by tau. Write this expression. Write this expression. Now VDD equal to 5 volts. VDD equal to 5 volts. 1 minus e power minus t by tau. Tau is nothing but here Rp. What is the value of Rp here? 200. 200. Tau is nothing but Rp into Cl. See the previous circuit. So R, what is the R here? Rp. What is the value of Rp? 200 ohms. And Cl. Cl is nothing but 100 micro. Oh, sorry, 100 pico. So substitute these two values. And from this expression, you bring the parameter small t. You bring the parameter small t. Same as like previous analysis. Same as like previous analysis. Bring the parameter small t. Now you got this expression. T equal to minus RC into natural log VDD minus V out by VDD. In previous case, we got only V out by VDD, but here what is the expression? V into 1 minus. Therefore, here we have VDD minus V out. VDD minus V out by VDD. Now, substitute R and C values. R is 200 ohms and C is 100 picofarads. What is the value of that? Minus 20 into 10 power minus 9. Minus 20 into 10 power minus 9. Already you know VDD has 5 volts. VDD has 5 volts. So therefore V 5 minus V out by 5. Now take V out as 1.5 in one case and 3.5 is another case. Now consider V out as 1.5 in one case. Why? Already you observe this diagram. To calculate a TR, we must know the value set at 3.5 volts and 1.5 volts. So that is 70% to 30% between this range. So therefore, you substitute once V out as 1.5 and V out as 3.5. Calculate time. If we consider 1.5 as V out, then you mentioned it as T1.5. T1.5. If you consider V out as 3.5, you mentioned T 3.5. T 3.5. I regard these two values 7.13 nanoseconds and 24.08 nanoseconds. By knowing these two values, we calculate rise period TR. TR is nothing but T 3.5 minus T 1.5, which is approximately 17 nanoseconds. (17 nanoseconds).